Hey everyone, let's stick with us versus her. Today was a crazy day in the market. We had one of the most volatile days that we've seen in quite a while, at least a few weeks, maybe 3 weeks or so, something like that. But I mean, today, just kind of crazy. Today, I did get stopped out twice on Apple. I closed the day down $114 on the day, so I have $114 realized loss today. If you made money, comment below, got paid. If you lost money, comment below, learned a lesson. If you could do me a big favor, hit the like button. Would definitely appreciate it. I mean, we knew going in today was going to be crazy with the S&P 500 rebalance. I will discuss what that means in just a minute here. And with quad witching. What quad witching is you have the 4 expirations expiring all on the same day. So things got a little bit turned. Also, it's the end of the quarter. I mean, it's over. It's over. 2020 is a wrap. Everything right now is looking forward into 2021. So, where I got a little get messed up here is on Apple. I traded twice, got stopped out twice on Apple. I was long the 125 call, long the 126 call. Now, this is the situation on Apple today is, we'll zoom into the right here on the 5-minute chart. So on Apple today, definitely was a bear flag, but the rest of the market looked like it wanted to recover. The rest of the market looked like it wanted to pop back up. So that's when I started to add a little bit long here. It was chilling, but then when we broke the range, broke to the downside, I got stopped out of that 125 call. And then down in here, I rolled into, because it looked again stable, I rolled into the 126 call, took another loss. So Apple, even though look at the rest of the market. The rest of the market ran. Look at SPY. Look at Qs. The rest of the market ran into the close, but Apple was held down. Apple stayed down. This SPY shot right up to 370. Super wide range at the close there. It popped up. SPY popped up from 367 to 370, but Apple didn't do anything. Just was back to where it was just a little bit ago. But everything's still pretty closed red. SPY closed red. Qs closed red. IWM closed red. Microsoft closed red. Amazon closed red. So it was a little bit tough. It was a little bit tough in that regard. Now for the S&P 500 rebalance, just be aware, the S&P or SPY and all that's not going to move the same ever again. Tesla is going to be weighting 1.5% of the S&P 500, which means that we know how crazy Teslas get. This thing's going to be moving a lot more. SPY is going to be moving a lot more than what it usually does. Now, will it tame Tesla down? I don't know. You got to kind of see how it goes. I'm going to see how Tesla impacts the S&P, but it's definitely going to change the dynamic with the rebalance and with Tesla being weighted so high. So it's definitely going to be very interesting. Where I made a little bit of money today, and where I learned some lessons. I learned a lesson on Snap. So Snap, I lost $144 out the gate for no apparent reason. So what they did, because I got shook out of Snap this morning, and the whole market was selling off. As you can see here, Snap came crashing down. I sold it when it broke 53 because I'm like, hey, I'm not going to be losing a ton of money right now. Everything was going down. Qs were going down. Every stock was going down. I'm like, okay, if this goes down, Snap could really flush to like 50, 51, 50, like 52 areas, what counts iron. And at that point, I'd be down like $300-400. So I'm like, okay, that's not going to be me today, but what did they do? As soon as I sold, they bought it right back up and it would have been profitable or at least break even. So, I was out in January expiration, but I guess the lesson is just to have a better entry. I think my entry on Snap wasn't the best entry. I was holding from yesterday, and yesterday on Snap, we were just drifting lower, and then we gapped up, but it sold off right away. So I could have closed it out for break even at open, didn't, ended up taking a $144 loss. So, it is what it is. PENN, I did make 160, had a couple, 180, had a couple trades in here, made 160 on the 85 calls, lost 10 on the 90 calls, and then I made 30 on the 95 calls. So, overall, PENN, was pretty good to me today. They had some issues. PENN and DKNG both dropped intraday. I made some money on this climb up here. PENN and DKNG both fell intraday due to the gambling not being passed in Ohio. It took a fall, and then I made some money on this, a little bit of money on this climb back up. But definitely glad I got out of it. I mean, right now on PENN, definitely looking a little bit toppy right now. I do think it's going to come back to the 10-day. I think maybe like 85 is a good target. 84 area is where I'm looking for, and then maybe a push up to 100. But, next week we could get a Santa rally. So just be aware that next week we are closing early. The stock market is closing early on Christmas Eve and is closed Christmas Day. So might be some very low volume. Right now, like in my portfolio, I'm really not long any premium. Actually, I'm long no premium. I'm short an Airbnb credit put spread. I am short a CRM credit put spread. I am short an Amazon credit put spread. I'm short a NIO credit put spread, and I'm short a naked Virgin Galactic or space call, whatever you want to call it. I mean, SPCE is like, we'll just call it space, right? So that's kind of the situation. So I'm currently not long any premium. I'm short all premium just in case we have a very low grind next week. I'm just going to let it coast and kind of see what happens, kind of take a hands-off approach. And if there is a day trade, I am going to take it. Now, there's a couple opportunities here, and there's a couple things that to be worried about for over the weekend, right? So the first thing, I think the biggest thing right now is that there is not going to be, we don't know if there is or not yet, but there still hasn't been a deal for the government shutdown, and there also has not been a COVID relief bill. So I think that at 12 a.m. on Saturday, 12 a.m. Eastern, that the government shutdown is going to happen. And if the government shuts down, then I mean it's gonna be a gigantic mess. It says last-minute disputes are preventing Congress from passing a relief package that includes direct payments, small business loans, and a boost to unemployment insurance. Congressional leaders aim to approve both the pandemic plan and a spending bill, but they may have to pass a short-term funding bill to buy time to finish and write a rescue proposal. So they don't know what the heck's going on here. We do know that Nancy and Mitch are going to be getting the COVID vaccine relatively soon. So, I mean, I think maybe they should hold back on the vaccine until they can actually finish the job here. Well, of course, that's just my opinion. But so right now they are still in talks, government shutdown looming. They're going to probably pass a spending bill, but that's the current risk that's over the weekend right now is that big thing. That's why I didn't want to long any premium. I'm glad I'm glad I wasn't short the market, definitely with the major rip and everything that happened on the huge volume that pushed through at the end of the day. Now, Intel is down due to Microsoft saying they're going to start designing their own chips. So Intel just can't catch a break here. I mean, it's been having a hard time, but I mean, to be honest with you, Intel did this to themselves. They said like, hey, we're not going to have the new chips ready. We don't have any guidance. I mean, and now, you see like Intel and Apple and all these manufacturers starting to make their own chips. I mean, Apple launched the M1 chip. So I think that Intel is in trouble for the long term. Is Intel going out of business? Absolutely not. But as manufacturers and other companies start making chips that compete with Intel, it's going to make it harder. It's going to definitely make it harder. I mean, if Microsoft and Apple can control the process, then why do we need Intel anymore? And I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon starts doing it, and all, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Just so be mindful. Watch Intel. I think Intel might come back down to the 45. Might even hit your 52-week lows down here in like a 43. So I'll be watching that. Nike just reported earnings. They pushed up all the way to 145. They're having strong sales in China. The EPS came in at 78 cents versus 62 cents. Revenue came in 11.24 versus 10.56 billion. So big push on that. Now Nike, I mean, could have went either way, but the trend is still your friend with Nike. If it opens up like 145, definitely going to gap up above this like 140, 141 resistance area that's been hitting over the last few weeks. So you guys have a good weekend. Let me know if you watch this video to the end. As always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.